fears written in gold. Truth appears as stories unfold. Flip the cards, turn around, mysteries we define.
Good morning, Maureen. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the My Tarot Morning Reflections, our daily inventory and chance to take a breath. So I'm sitting here, and I'm looking at my little piece of furniture back here. And then I've got the little stuff, all this stuff right here. And a really dear friend of mine, they are prepping to open a museum. Good morning, Jenna. Good morning, Jenny. So I was just talking about this piece back here. A friend of mine is getting ready. They're coordinating a museum in Colorado at the Overlook Hotel. I'm not going to say much, but that piece used to belong to the person who created the Ouija board. And I've been asked if I could loan it to them for however long to display, because they want to put some of the original items of his on display. So it'll be months before that takes place and I have to ship it out. But it's going to be weird not having that thing back there because it's been there forever. So we were talking about it last night, and that's where I'm just kind of like looking at it now. Good morning, Angelina. So I hope everybody had that amazing day yesterday, or at least that better than average day. And welcome to the My Tarot Morning Reflection. Our chance to take that breath as we listen to the cards like they're the sounds of the ocean. Feel that light switch. So with that, feet, where are they? Mine are flat on the floor, and I'm rotating my ankles, and gosh, that feels good. And then having my butt do the kitty dance just to getting prepared, checking in with the shoulders, seeing where they are, and then rotating the neck and seeing where that is, and taking that breath as we flip that light switch. So let's check in with the universe, see where we are, see if there's any angers or resentments or any tips or tricks. As we all jump into this amazing day. I'm going to try and stay positive. That's the whole thing. They say fake it till you make it. So some mornings that's exactly what it is. But it helps. Because if I'm not laughing, I'm crying. So, with that breath, feeling the light switch, let's go ahead and lay out our cards. Let's do our 3 and... our 1, 2, 3. My goodness. Almost. Jumped right into the reading. Wow, what was that about? Our 3 and 1. So again, I always say that there's no omens and everything's that everything's an omen and there are no coincidences. So for me this morning, when we become mindful, we're paying attention to stuff, and that little thing right there, normally I'm on autopilot. Jenny would understand. It's like when you're playing guitar and all of a sudden it's like you just start going off someplace else. It's like, what was I thinking? Where was I at? So today it's going to be one of those things where I got my little omen here that says, maybe I need to pay attention to details today. And then when we do a meditation or something, then just those small little things, it's small little steps that lead to something bigger. So that's why we do this in the morning, to see what it triggers. So I have our 3 stacks, each one like a different thread going out to the universe. Each one's like a different thought or idea. And if we believe in the multiverse, it's like each one of these is a different path, because this stack will lead down one path. This stack will lead down a different path than this conversation here. So I'm taking that extra breath. And I'm going to choose the center stack, which is what is right at the heart. As I'm checking in here. And I'm going to do hour 3 in 1. And I'll flip each card over one at a time like we're reading the pages of a book. So, today, it is the Magician. So here we have the number 1 major card. The first card in the majors that's not a 0. And so we see the Magician, and we can see that he's got a cup, he's got a coin, he's got his sword, he's got a wand. He has everything, or they have everything that they need to perform whatever task needs to happen. So how do we get all this stuff? This is when we put in our 10,000 hours. This is when we start something and we've read the instructions and we gathered all of our ingredients together when we're making something. This is when we are putting in an effort to make something happen, because as above, so below. What does this really mean? Well, how does anything get created? How does a song get created? How does a piece of pottery get created? Well, you have to start with nothing. Step 1, start with nothing. Step 2, make a decision to make something. So up above, it's like there's nothing. Below, there's nothing. Then up above here, especially in our head, we make a decision. I am going to make a bowl. I'm going to learn how to do pottery. I put in, I get everything I need, whatever it takes, but we create something out of nothing. So that's the Magician, and that's what makes him so magical, is that we all have the ability to create something out of nothing. The Page of Wands. So, when we feel inspired, when we have this thought, this idea, this drive, this desire, we gather our books, we gather our elements, we gather what we need. We could be sitting at the computer and just reading a PDF. It's the same thing, right? Because we're at work. Nothing into something. To be able to do that, first we need to read the PDF, right? Because that Microsoft Word is not going to get loaded without me doing something. But we have the Page of Wands. And pages in the court cards, they're the ones that want to learn things. They're the ones that want to go out and do things and create things. It's when we are young-minded, fresh-minded, and open to new things. And then wands are our passion, our creativity, our fire. It's our drive and our desire to do an action. So today, when we think about it, because court cards can be you, can be somebody else, part of the situation. They're not male or female. It's masculine energy, feminine energy. But this is where we have the confidence to say, I'm going to start something, or I'm going to, that wand didn't just happen. It was a seed. It had to grow. And look, we still have leaves on there. And we're fascinated by that because we're still learning. So, what are they walking into? The Knight of Fire. So, knights, element of fire. Look at this guy. See all that fire? See all that passion? Okay. So knights are the element of fire. Wands are the element of fire. This is about jumping into something and having confidence and not questioning. This is about just doing, because the knights are the ones we want to send into battle first in the 1500s. They want to just get in there. They're not going to think about it. They're following orders. They've been told, let's do this. And they get riled up and then they hop on their horses and they just do it. So today, it is about the majors are ones that we pay attention to. Because the minors are our day-to-day cards. The minors are those steps that it takes to do a journey of 1,000 miles. This is step 1. This is step 2. But before we make a journey of 1,000 miles, don't we have to have the idea, and don't we have to gather our tools, and don't we have to have a motivation? So, looking at this today, what is it that we have been doing, preparing, that we love? Maybe we haven't, I always use the example of a guitar. Maybe it's been a long time since I've sat down and said, I'm just going to write a song. Right? I've got my 10,000 hours in. You know what? Tomorrow, I have a class that I'm going to be giving on tarot history at Brand Art Yoga. Brand Art Yoga. Brand Art Yoga in Frederick. And so I've put in my time. I don't know if it's been 10,000 hours, but I put in my time. And I'm gathering my stuff together. And I feel like this kid when I do it. And when I get there, I'm just going to charge into it. So today is about what can we get motivated about? What about that fire that moves us? But let's see what the advice card is. It is the Hierophant. So we have 2 majors. Okay. And the Hierophant. What is the Hierophant? So originally called the Pope card. And when we think about the Hierophant, we don't need to think about it in a religious context. When we think of like the Pope card, we think about religion. We think about actually institutions. We think about tradition. We think about rules. We think about guidance that we've been given to follow a path. So it's not just a card of religion. It's actually a card of tradition, a card of following a path, a card of, community. And I struggle with religion. So when I see this card, I want to give it every negative connotation in the world out there, right? But when we see this card, it can mean one of 2 things. One, it's either about breaking out of traditions, about thinking outside of the box. And the other way to look at it is that, sometimes our jobs have certain rules and certain things we need to follow. But with this for today, this is about sometimes we get acceptance. Sometimes we've spent all this time following rules, learning, working with people, community, and it's what we're supposed to do. But when we have this much fire and energy, what keeps us sometimes from doing that stuff? It's because we get inhibited. We get inhibited by the people around us, the rules around us, the things around us, the words like, you shouldn't be doing that at your age, right? These are fire and energy. This is about when we need to be solid in following rules. These have nothing to do with following rules. So, particularly today, if there's something where it's outside of the box, it's outside of the norm, you're being childish, you're being creative, you're doing something antisocial, do it with gusto. Do it with fire and energy. Do it with passion. Today, think about what your passion really is. And especially if it's antisocial or it's like against the norm, or it's like, I mean, how many times do we do things and it's like we're told that we're supposed to we're told to give up our childish tools because that's a rule. When you reach a particular age, you're supposed to give up your childish toys. And then we go on to be miserable adults. So today, enjoy yourselves. Find that thing that makes you feel like you have passion and drive. And then just do it. The more the norms say you shouldn't do it, the more you should. Thanks again, everybody. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing weekend, and I will see everybody tomorrow or on Monday. Take care, everybody. Thanks again. Enjoy your weekend.
Stars in the sky, cards in my hand.